Welcome to Dee & Co. Outdoors. Real ghost stories.
Hello and welcome. Thank you very much. My wonderful guest tonight is my cousin, crazy cousin. He's been let out for the weekend. We're here to tell you some really true weird stories. Very weird. Ghost stories, UFO stories, who knows what kind of crazy stories, but real stories. So
Most definitely.
we will start in a moment. So the first story I'm going to tell starts back in the late 70s when I was quite a young child. This is what actually got me interested in the unexplained. And I was very little, and we used to live in a place called Wakefield. One evening, we'd gone to bed, and I was really cold because back then we had no heating, had nothing at all. So you'd be cuddled up into your blanket, and I'm trying to go to sleep, freezing. And I remember thinking, oh, I'm way too cold. It's way too cold in this room. What's going on? Just want to go to sleep. I got my little woolly hat on and my woolly socks. And I happened to notice some weird movement at the end of the bed. And I tried to focus in the dark. And then I saw this ghostly, shadowy, strange, childlike figure. And I pulled the covers up even further, and I thought, oh, I must be dreaming. This is a dream, I must be dreaming. I thought, I'm really cold though. I'm awake, I'm definitely awake, what's going on? And this little child was walking very slowly across the bottom of the floor. And I remember thinking, oh, I don't like this. Where's my mum? I want my mummy! But mummy wasn't there. Mummy was probably downstairs watching some crap. Who knows? So I'm like, I don't like this. I thought, I'll have to stay really cold and see your breath in the room, it's that cold. And then as I'm watching, she turns her head and she looks at me.
Really?
Yeah.
That is freaky.
That is freaky. And she went,
Oh.
and I was like, uh-oh. I don't like this.
Holy mackerel.
And I remember thinking, I don't like this at all. So I pulled the covers right up my head and I thought, no, I'm having a nightmare. This is a nightmare. This is not happening. I'm not going to look. So I stayed hiding under the covers for a little bit. And then I felt the bed depress at the end.
Really?
Yes.
That's weird.
It really freaked me out.
That's like seriously like some major.
And I thought, this is horrible. I thought, I want me mum. Where's me mummy? So I'm there quivering.
Oh dear. I shouldn't laugh.
I don't look, I don't look, I don't look. I'm only a little child. I don't look, I don't look. And then suddenly put the covers back down. No longer there.
Wow. You've never told me that story.
Well, because it's weird and I don't know if I was dreaming. It didn't feel like a dream. That's the evil face. It didn't feel like a dream. It felt very real. But you know, when you're a kid, you don't understand, do you?
No, no.
So I really don't know. Why do I think she was like back from the past? She was in like a white or Victorian-ish looking gown.
Oh, so she's an old spirit,
With
but
like-
in the young body.
With like pigtails. I don't know. Ribbons, pigtails.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And that was in the 70s?
But it was late 70s, maybe very early 80s.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Wakefield. Yeah, I never felt the same in that bedroom after that.
I can imagine that, because your awarenesses can be completely open to that surroundings, you
Yeah.
know.
So that sparked my interest really in the unexplained, the paranormal. I don't know if I believe in it or not, but I do have some weird experiences which make me go, don't know, what is it? What is it? What could it be? Is it real? Am I making it all up?
No.
No, I was terrified. So
Yeah.
didn't make that up. That was terrifying as a kid. Anyway, that was my first story.
Wow. I don't know if I can beat that for my first story. Well, because that's pretty intense.
It is indeed.
And that was your first encounter with a spirit as well?
Yes.
Whoa. And how old were you then? If it's early 70s, late 70s.
I was born in 75.
Oh wow, okay.
So young in that way.
Yeah. Wow.
That's why I say late to very early 80s. So I don't know, I could have been 4, 5, 6, I'm not quite sure.
Wow.
I just remember it happening.
Yeah, wow. Did you get much sleep after that night?
No. I kept the blanket over my head.
Jeez Louise. God, I would have been petrified if I saw that. I'd be like, yeah. I did under covers all night. Wow. Wow. That's intense.
It is. So I think we need a quick break.
Yeah.
After that, get another brew.
A bit of Dutch encouragement.
And then we'll go on to the next story. We'll see you in a minute. And for our second real ghost story, I'll hand you over to Lucy.
Thank you. Wow, my ghost story isn't as extreme as the one that Dee's just told you. But the first experience I had, I was 13 years old. Now, I had no prior experiences with spirits or anything of the like. So I was about 13 years old when this happened to me. And I was lying on my mum's bed talking with her. And we were listening to the radio. And it was so short and brief, but it was kind of sweet as well. So I just turned my face to look at the door, and I was startled by an image of my grandfather. Now, when I was 3 months old, my grandfather had died. He died next to me, unfortunately. And the only time I ever saw pictures of him were really old photos in black and white. So I didn't really see any skin tone or hair colouring. So I looked shocked at the door, and he was kneeling down on the floor. And I said to my mum, like, oh my God, I've just seen Grandad. And she was startled, and she's like, what did he look like? And it was so bizarre because he was there for like 1 second, in the blink of an eye, he was gone. And I just said he had rosy cheeks and ginger hair, and he was just smiling at me. And that was the first time I ever saw a spirit. And my mum was absolutely shocked because I just described everything about him. They were two distinct features that he had. And she was so shocked, she was like, oh my God, you've just seen my dad. And I'm like, yeah, great. Because I was like, holy hell, what's going on here?
He's been dead a long time.
Yeah, 13 years. 13 years. So I was like, wow.
And to describe it in great detail is quite something.
Yeah, rosy
peculiar.
cheeks, ginger hair, straight back, just this big smile on his face, and I'm like, wow, I've just seen my granddad for the first time in like young eyes, because obviously at 3 months old I'm not going to remember him. So yeah, that was the first spirit encounter I had.
Wow.
So yeah, it was pretty amazing stuff, but quite chilling at the same time, but it was also great.
It's not great when you see something you don't really understand what the hell is going on.
No, because you question everything.
Yeah,
because
you
you're
do.
just like, what's going on? Did I see that? Did I imagine it?
Am I smoking pot? Not at 13, I hope.
No, not at 13. But no, it does make you question everything. But I firmly believe that I saw my granddad. Other people may dispute that, but that's absolutely fine. But I saw my granddad. I really did. It was pretty awesome. Scary, but awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's how I got into, well, anything spiritual really, about the supernatural and spirits and stuff like that. And obviously that progressed further the older I got.
It can do, yeah.
Yeah, that's when you start seeing some major stuff, which we will tell you about.
Okay, so I think tea break again.
Yeah, short and sweet story for you there.
Yeah,
Something completely different to yours, though.
Definitely, but you know, an experience is an experience, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely.
And it's what gets you interested in stuff that you know, find difficult to explain in a sciencey way.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely.
Okay then, we'll bring you back in a moment.
See you in a moment.
Hello and welcome back. Our third story is going to come from myself, and this story, even though it's a real story, very real, it's a very real experience for me, and it happened probably in, let me think, maybe the 90s. This one, I would say yes, early 90s, maybe late 80s, early 90s. And it happened in a place called Caulfield. Well, as a young teenager, I decided that I was quite interested in the unexplained. And one of my friends named Wiz, yes, her name was Wiz, it was awesome, she had a Ouija board. Yes, and we used to play with the Ouija board like it was Monopoly. It was awesome.
Oh my days.
And we used to play every night.
Oh God.
Every night we'd be playing on this Ouija board, and it'd be coming up with all this crazy stuff, and it definitely felt real to me. The placard thing, whatever it's called.
Planchette. Yeah.
Planchette. Definitely felt like something was going on with it that I wasn't doing. I don't believe Wiz was doing. But anyway, they come to a point where we invited other friends to come and help and play on this game, the Ouija board.
God.
And yeah, so we used to do it quite regular. And one particular night, my parents had gone out for the evening, and my friends come round, and there we were, with all the lights off and some candles on. Gets the Ouija board out, starts playing, and like this ridiculous ghost, I don't know, whatever, it started saying daft things, and it was scaring some of the other girls. And I was like, whatever, as if, you know, you can't do anything to us, this is just a game, this is like my mind. Maybe I'm like Xavier with my mind controlling it. I'm like, I've got mind control over this is me, yeah.
So Are you Professor X now?
Yeah. Making this thing move and answer. And you know, it was frightening a couple of the girls, and it was spelling out things like they're going to get hurt, you get run over, and you know, all sorts of stuff. And I was like mocking. I was really bad at mocking it, and I was just like winding it up, I guess. And I just thought, I'm winding myself up here, Xavier, whatever, have it back, mind. And all of a sudden we heard a huge crack come from the kitchen. I mean, it was such a loud noise. Everybody jumped, and I'm like, oh my God, what was that? Even the dog, Jet, poor Jet, even the dog started barking. So I jumps up, runs into the kitchen, tries to put the light on, and my mum had one of those weird fluorescent tubes, you remember?
Yeah.
Horrible things
we
used to have in the kitchens.
Yeah.
And the light wouldn't come on, and I thought, what the hell's going on here? So I grabbed a torch, and like I put the outer house light on, so we got some light into the kitchen, and there was a huge chunk of plastic that looked like it'd been bitten, like weird teeth marks. It actually cracked and fallen on the floor.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it was like, in my mind, I was like, oh my God, it looks like something bit it.
Jeez.
And like, well, that ended the Ouija board game that night.
Understandably so.
Because everyone was so freaked out by that. They're like, I'm not coming back to your house, Donna. No, I'm never coming back here. You better get rid of that Ouija board. I'm not playing ever again. And I was like, I need to play more.
Oh God.
This is amazing. Oh my God, look at that. I mean, to be fair, underneath my brazen
exterior,
I was terrified. I was like, I mean, how do you explain that? Yeah, I guess, you know, something.
Wow.
It could have been cracked for years, and I don't know, just that night it happened to explode and pop, I don't know, but my God, did I get in trouble when my parents come back, because they're like, how do you explain that? Well, the Ouija board bit it. Something from the Ouija board bit into it.
Oh God.
But that wasn't really the end of that kind of stuff. It's poor field. I made my own Ouija board. I ripped open a stool from my bedroom, which had a really nice piece of wood in it. I cut it all open on the back, took it out, and I drew me a Ouija board on, and just got one of my mum's glasses.
Just a bit of advice: do not try this at home.
And I used to play on it on my own in my bedroom.
Really?
Yeah, until I just felt like every time I walked into the room, someone, or the room, or it just felt heavy and thick, and I felt squished in there somehow, and I just felt so uncomfortable, like something was watching me constantly, and I was feeling like I just wasn't feeling right with it, and I just didn't want to go in the room. So I just thought, you know what, I think I've opened a can of worms here.
Yeah, big
or
time.
Pandora's box, or I don't know what I'm messing with. So
you opened up some kind of gate.
So yeah, what I did was I burnt my Ouija board, and I smashed the glass. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but it felt better doing it. Smash! And got rid of the evidence. You know.
Got rid of the evidence.
And never touched the Ouija board again. Although I always have like a soft spot for them. They really interest me, Ouija boards.
They are fascinating.
They are, and the fact that what was the brand? Is it MB? The brand who used to sell them, make them and sell them.
Oh, I don't know.
Someone will know. They stopped selling it because there was so many weird incidents happening with people playing with them. So they actually stopped manufacturing and selling them. So obviously something was a bit amiss. I don't know.
You can still get them.
I don't know where from. I've not seen them.
There's one in town.
Is there?
Yeah. Don't know how much it is, but I have seen one in town.
I don't think though. If I had one, I wouldn't bring it in the house.
No.
So don't get messing around on the Ouija boards.
And do not make it home.
Because you might think you're Professor X.
Like you did. Oh, somehow say Cyrus. Moving it with my mind.
Yeah, I'm making it like scare them in my mind, scare them, yeah, and they're all going, oh, I don't like this anymore.
Well, you definitely scared them.
I scared myself too. So,
I would have been scared at that one, definitely.
Yeah. It pretty much stopped me from messing around with them, really, that did.
Yeah. I've always been kind of dubious about them, because I have heard stories about Ouija boards, and I've only ever done 2. Tried it twice. First time it didn't work, but the second time in a group setting it did, and I did find it was a very peculiar experience. It's a feeling you can't describe of what's happening when the planchette's moving.
Yeah, it feels like it's floating.
Yeah, but you can also feel the drag though as well.
You can feel like some kind of weird force somehow.
Yeah, it's like an energy around it, and you just feel the pull, don't you?
It is weird.
It is fascinating, but
Is it science? Am I really Professor X?
you could be.
Can't be Magneto because it wasn't metal.
Oh.
It's plastic.
Oh.
Or glass.
Professor X is
My
still
mum's
pretty
glass.
cool though.
Sorry, Mum.
Yeah. Sorry, Aunt Joyce.
Sorry for your lies. I never told you it was the Ouija board.
I had nothing to do with it. I wasn't there. Oh dear. Wow. Yeah. Don't mess with Ouija boards. That is super scary. That is like a light just exploding when you're doing a Ouija board. That's some spooky ass stuff, that is, most definitely.
Yeah.
No Ouija boards for you. I reckon if you did another one now, I think that same spirit would still be around, like, see.
The fourth story is going to be told by Lucian.
Dum dum dum.
Thank you.
So this unexplained encounter was the second experience I had. So we're going to go back so many moons now. I was about 14 or 15 years old, so we're going back to going into late 90s. And this particular night, I was lying in my bed, in the bedroom alone, with the door closed. Now, my bedroom door never closed properly, it was warped, so you could never close it properly. And my mum was lying in her bed in her bedroom, which was, you know, just next to mine. And I was just lying there, it was about 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night, school night. And my mum had this brass bell that was hung on the wall. And on the floor, and we had like lino flooring, cushion flooring. I was just lying there minding my own business, relaxing. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, we just heard these massive footsteps kind of bang on the floor. Now, me and my mum, we were the only people in the house, and my mum heard it. So I was like, Mum, what was that? And she's like, I don't know, did you hear it? I was like, yeah, I heard that. But then the brass bell on the wall started to ring, just like really lightly. It was going ding, ding, ding. And I'm like, Mum, the bell is ringing. She's like, I know. I'm like, what is it? And so I was just lying there going, what the hell is going on? And then all of a sudden, very slowly, we heard footsteps one by one, and they were just slowly walking up the stairs. And I was like, Mom, something's walking up the stairs. And she's like, I know, I can hear it. So my bedroom door was closed, and my bedroom door was started creaking like it was trying to be pushed open. So I shouted, Mom, it's trying to get in my bedroom. And Mum's like, stay calm, it's all okay. And then it stopped. And then within a few seconds, we had more footsteps stamping on the flooring at the bottom of the stairs. The bell started to ring again. And then more footsteps came up the stairs again. And then it just stopped outside my bedroom. And I felt this force stood outside my bedroom door, and I was like, Mom, it's standing outside my bedroom door. And she's like, it's okay, it'll go away. And I'm just lying there going, no it's not, no it's not. And that was pretty terrifying, because I was just a teenager, and I'm like, what the hell was that? I believe it was, you know, a spirit, because we were the only ones in the house. My mum was in her bed in her bedroom, and I was in my bedroom, and I'm like, okay, this is seriously messed up. What on earth was that? So yeah, that was pretty scary, being a teenager. Very scary, but fascinating at the same time. I think it's great now, but at the time I was like, this ain't happening.
What, how did you feel, or how did you know it had gone, whatever it was?
I didn't. It just felt like something was there outside my door. It just literally stopped moving. It didn't even try to push the door open the second time. It just stayed there, and I'm like, okay. And I had to just try and chill out as much as I could. It was good knowing that my mum was only in the next room.
But she didn't dare look either, though, did she?
No, she heard it. She was like,
stay where you are.
she was dead calm. She was dead calm. I was like, what's going on?
Under the covers again.
Yeah, I was lying in bed going, what the hell? I didn't know how I slept that night, but it didn't take me long to get sleep after. But yeah, now it's funny, but back then, this is what, 25 years ago, wasn't so fun then.
Weird experiences.
Yeah, it just seemed to increase. First it was my grandfather, then a couple of years later it was like something completely different. You know, when I saw my granddad, it was all nice, peaceful. This, it was a bit more like intrusive. It was a bit like...
You didn't feel comfortable?
No, I definitely didn't feel comfortable. It was like, yeah, something spooking me out, and it spooked me out, and I never forget that night, clearly. 25 years later.
No, well, you don't, do you? You don't forget these weird experiences.
No, not at all, not at all.
It always remains in your mind, and you know, you sit and think about it, or something will jog your memory and think, oh yeah, I remember that weird whatever happened to me. That was just bizarre. When we're back in the room. Okay. The 5th story is going to be from me, my dears. This encounter was actually when I was outdoors with a good friend of mine, Pete from the Outdoors and Me, and he didn't see it, which is annoying. But anyway, I'll tell you this story. It happened back in April this year. We went on a 2-day wild camp around the Peak District, and the area we went around was like Maxfield Forest. I think we ended up Shining Tor, I think. Yes, we did. We ended up at Shining Tor eventually, and then back down to the bottom of Wilbur Cuff, I think, or Wild Boar Cuff. I'm not sure how you pronounce it properly. But anyway, it was the first night. I had a very long first day, and we were struggling to find somewhere to actually pitch, and it had already started to go dark. And in the end, we ended up at a reservoir. I won't say the name, but Peter will remember it. We spoke to a lovely chap there who gave us permission to pitch there. So we waited until everybody had gone, which pretty much they all had because it was already black. And we pitched our tents, made some food, and settled down for the evening with everything ready. We had a brew outside. It was a lovely clear night, and we were like chatting away, getting stuff ready. And I remember looking up and seeing this round globe sphere shaped object going across the back of the landscape, and it was like a reddy orangey colour. And I was looking at it thinking, them car head brake lights, back lights look weird. What the hell could that be? Like, why are they so big? Because it looked really big, and it went really fast across the back. I'm like, that car's driving really fast. What a lunatic. But you couldn't see where the road was because it was so dark there.
Yeah.
And it was really, really dark there, and I knew the road was high up, and then I'd seen like car headlights going across, but they went across in a different way, like as if they were following the road. And I thought, but their backlights look different to the light that I actually saw. The backlights didn't look like a ball, basically. They look more like a starburst of light.
Really?
A bit. Those like the cars.
Yeah,
Cars look very different to the round ball shaped light. And I just thought, it's just somebody with, like these kids with specialist lights and stuff messing around. I don't know, whatever. It's a car, but there was no car sound to it. There was no sound. So, whatever. And then, not long after, I saw it coming back. So it went one way, and then I saw it coming back, and I'm like, I don't think that is a car. I don't know what it was, but I don't think it was a car because of the shape and the colours. And it went in like a straight line and then just disappeared, whereas the cars that I watched going across that top road, their lights, you could see where the beam was pointing.
Yeah.
And obviously their tail lights were following it, so I don't know, it was just so weird. And I'm like, Pete, what's that light? He's like, what are you talking about, Donnie? I'm like, there was a weird light up there. And he's like, I didn't see anything. And I'm like, I'm going to keep watching. So I stayed there for ages, like, watching the same area, but I didn't see it again. And I saw it twice, but I didn't see it again after that, which, I don't know, really confused me.
Freaky.
It was, because, I don't know what creates such a round shaped light.
Yeah.
And it was like a reddy orangey, which made me think it was obviously tail lights from a car, but the shape of them was weird. I don't know.
Wow.
So that happened this year when I was out with Pete in the Peak District.
Wow.
I mean, that top road is quite far away, and I don't even know what it's called either because we didn't come that way. Wait, did we? No, we didn't. We didn't come that way. We come up. We come up to the top and then down because we saw a car pull on the car park at the top, and like 3 individuals got out and they walked in the dark all the way up this hill and disappeared over the top of the hill, and then they come back again like about 10 minutes later. I mean, people were like, what the hell are they doing? And all they had was a mobile phone for the light.
Yeah.
That was all they were using, and it was pitch black out there.
Wow.
We were like, look at these little idiots. So,
wow.
I'm always looking. Yeah. I definitely don't think we're alone up there. There's other stuff going on up there. I don't know what, but there is. But I always keep my eyes open just in case.
Take me to your leader.
So, that was my final weird story.
Wow. So if you want to go hunting for some unexplained experiences,
Peak District.
Go to the Peak District.
There is actually, if you look back, there is reports of weird lights around the Peak District anyway.
Is there?
Yes, there is.
Wow. When are we going?
I have found them on the internet, but it is on the internet. That's like saying Wikipedia is real and true.
Everything's real on the internet.
So, but there has been reports. So
Wow.
Who knows? Who knows?
Well, worth investigating then.
Yeah, it is. If you like that kind of thing. Definitely.
When are we going?
We'll have to make a plan.
Next adventure. Wow.
Okay. So
That'll be interesting to see, most definitely.
Well,
Wow.
we'll leave it up to the viewers to decide
Most definitely.
what nonsense I saw.
Who can say? But yeah, well worth investigating, most definitely.
Yeah. Shame I got no proof though. Shame I got no video or photograph or something.
Well, if you go again, I'm sure you'll be prepared.
Try to be. Okay, we'll take a quick break and then we'll come back for one more story from you.
Yeah.
Okay. And welcome back. Our final story is going to be told by Lucian.
Well, thank you. Well, this gloomy tale happened 8 years ago, and it's quite intense, and it was that intense I actually cried after this experience. It really shook me up. So 8 years ago, one of my dear friends was experiencing an unknown experience going on in her home, and for a few nights my friend was experiencing someone standing in the corner of her bedroom while she was sleeping, and she would wake up in the middle of the morning sensing someone walking in her bedroom, and it would come over to her bed and she'd feel like she was being crushed. And on this particular night, when she told me, she felt this presence pushing her hand down where her hand was hurting. So she asked if I would go over one night, just for a bit of comfort, a bit of protection, that kind of thing. So I was like, yeah, sure. And I said to her, it sounds, quite a malevolent experience, and that she needs to start protecting herself when she's in a bed, start thinking, positive thoughts and getting energies up to protect herself. So this particular night I stayed in one of the bedrooms and I slept perfectly. I had a great night's sleep, and I was lying on my tummy, and I could hear my friend. It was early in the morning, it was about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I could hear her walking around in the kitchen because one of the bedrooms was on the ground floor. And I felt all this energy move up my back and around my neck, and I was like, oh wow. It was like really warm and comforting energy, and I thought, what's this energy? It's really nice. But that changed completely, and all I felt was a pair of hands wrap around my neck and start pushing my neck down into the pillow. And then I felt the arch of my back, like someone was sitting on my back, and they were using their entire force pushing my body down into the bed. And I felt all this tension move over my back, and my voice had gone. I couldn't talk, I couldn't breathe, and I'm going, and I was trying to shout my friend's name, who was just moving around the kitchen. They had the radio on, they were cleaning up, and I'm going, can't breathe. So I kind of like took my own advice and started thinking positive. And believe it or not, I started thinking of white rabbits in a field. Don't know why, but I was thinking something positive.
Okay.
Something completely different. It's what came to my mind. But whatever I did, that I didn't like, because I felt these hands get tighter around my neck, and my back was being crushed further into the bed, and my voice was still broken. I was going, I couldn't move or anything. I'm wide awake at this point. I'm being woken up by this force sitting on me. I did something, because I'm a Reiki healer, so I said something in my mind, and it literally blew up off my back. And I got up straight away, took this massive breath. I was like, got up out of that bed, tears coming down my eyes, shouting to my friend saying, what the hell has happened to you has just happened to me. I was dead shaken up, and I was saying, it's in there, it's in the bedroom, it's in the bedroom. And she's like, what? I was like, that thing what's been crushing your hand has just been crushing me in the bed. And I ended up doing Reiki in the room, and we never heard from it again. It just vanished. And I was like, could have been sleep paralysis or anything, but I felt something sit on my back, and I literally felt the fingers, the hands literally gripping around the back of my neck, and it was like all life ceased, and it was just like frozen on the spot.
You know what you should have done?
Go on.
You should have called Ghostbusters!
I think they have long gone since then.
My favourite film.
I know.
Okay.
But that was one of the most terrifying experiences
There's something
I've
strange
had.
in the neighbourhood.
Yeah.
Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters! But yeah, that was scary.
Yeah.
Very scary. Could have been sleep paralysis, could have been anything. But when you feel fingers and hands, and you feel something like straddling you, it just makes me question a little bit more. Succubus, yeah. Because it was strange that my friend was experiencing the same things the night before. She said she could feel someone sitting on the bed, crushing her hand, pushing her hand down on the bed. She, took me advice. She started thinking about loved ones who had, unfortunately passed. And she said the same thing. The moment she started thinking positive, it got tighter and tighter on her.
You shouldn't dabble. You shouldn't dabble with
Well,
stuff.
this is the thing.
You shouldn't dabble.
They never dabbled with anything. It just happened so suddenly that she's calling me saying something really weird's happened. Can you come over and stay? Because knowing that I'm a healer, she thought, oh, I will help her. Luckily that night she wasn't attacked by this unforeseen entity. But then I experienced it, and when I experienced it, I was like, holy moly, what the hell was that? And yeah, that's never happened to me since, but it's definitely chilling.
Negativity attracts negativity, doesn't it?
Most definitely, and I think there was some stuff going on there, but within the house, but yes, never happened again, and that was one of the most terrifying things that has happened to me. Freaky. So hopefully you will sleep well tonight.
Maybe not. Well, and with that concludes this spooktacular outdoors campfire. It's actually in a chimney, but it'll do for the campfire episode, really.
Brilliant stuff. So if you've got any stories you'd like to share, feel free to comment.
Yeah, tell us your weird, unexplained, crazy, do you think you're going nuts stories. Maybe you've had nothing. Maybe you've had loads, maybe you've had... Who
Something
knows?
scarier.
Who knows?
You can say.
Yeah, but it doesn't count if you were doing weed, pot,
Or alcohol.
Or alcohol. See lots of things when you
When you're
do too
intoxicated.
many. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us, and I hope you have a good Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
Best time of the year.
Favourite time of the year.
And we will catch you soon. Take care. Goodbye from me. And it's
Goodbye from me.
and them over there, over the back.
The zombies.
The dead people. In the churchyard.
I
The
know.
zombies.
Zombies.
Maybe we should take it to look.
Ooh.
Don't think we've got a torch bright enough to see them.
Oh, we should do that. Maybe one night. See you soon.
Bye.